I was supposed to feel proud at my graduation party. The whole family gathered in our backyard, balloons, barbecue, everyone smiling. I was the first in my family to get a college diploma. Then, in the middle of all the congratulations, my mom leaned in, hugged me, and whispered in my ear, "You owe us more than a diploma." At first, I thought she meant emotionally, like a thank you. But no, her words kept replaying in my head, and something about the tone made my stomach drop. A few minutes later, my uncle raised his glass and said, "Glad the college fund I set up was enough for all 4 years." The entire yard went silent. My chest tightened. College fund? What college fund? I'd worked 30 hours a week on top of classes. I'd lived off ramen and skipped doctor's visits because I couldn't afford them. Meanwhile, my parents had smiled and nodded every time I complained about tuition. Turns out, my wealthy uncle had been sending money every semester to my parents. Enough to cover tuition, books, housing. And yet, I was drowning in debt. The pieces clicked together too fast. My mom's whisper, the new SUV my parents bought, the sudden kitchen remodel junior year. My stomach twisted. I confronted my mom right there, asking, "Did you take the college fund?" Her face went pale, but before she could answer, my cousin blurted, "They used it for themselves. Everyone knows." The silence was unbearable. My mom's lips trembled. My dad muttered something about family sacrifices, but I couldn't hear any of it over the ringing in my ears. I stood up, grabbed my diploma from the table, and said, "This is mine. My hard work, my sleepless nights, and Uncle Mark's generosity, not yours." My mom snapped back, "If you walk out that door, don't bother coming back." For the first time in my life, I felt free. I looked her straight in the eye and said, "Then don't expect me to. You've taken enough already." I walked out of my own graduation party and spent the night at my aunt's house. Uncle Mark showed up later, furious, not at me, but at them. He promised to put the rest of the fund in my name only, locked away from my parents. The next morning, I blocked their numbers. There was no screaming match, no dramatic showdown, just silence. And honestly, that silence was the loudest victory I'd ever heard.